Hello and welcome to this Really Simple Systems webinar on managing your CRM reports. My name is Helen Armour and I'm the Marketing Manager at Really Simple Systems. Today I'm going to show you how to run reports in your CRM using the Listing Reports and Forecasting Reports writer, look at how to use the selection criteria and cover the additional features available in the Advanced Report option. Listing Reports is the reports on any past activity stored in your CRM, and this includes your sales, tasks, any calls handled, and your marketing campaigns. Forecasting Reports uses the data from your opportunity lines to forecast your sales over the next weeks or months. Advanced Reports is a feature available on the Enterprise plan, and this provides additional functionality for your reports, for example subtotaling, summarization and advanced views so that you can have more columns and selection criteria options. The listing and forecasting report writers are available in all our price plans, including free. However, free does have more limited number of fields, so it may look slightly different from what I'm going to show you today. The advanced reporting, as I mentioned before, is only available in our Enterprise plan. When you first get your CRM system, you'll find that there's predefined reports already set up, and you can use these or modify these or even delete them as required. The reports created in your CRM can be viewed on your screen, or you can download them as a PDF to print or as a data file if you need to do further analysis. Okay, so let's start out from the sales dashboard, and the first thing you see, you've got a welcome page and there's various help items here to get you going. But when you've become familiar with your CRM system, you can turn these off by going to the dashboard options button and just unclicking the show welcome. That shuts down that page, and you've then just left with the widgets that you want on your screen, which again you can select from the dashboard options button. You'll see on the widgets here I've got one for my reports and the company reports, and I'll talk more about those in due course. But to get started, on the main menu, first of all we'll just go to Reports, and this brings up the summary page of the reports that we've created previously, or indeed those that come shipped with your CRM system. When you're using the CRM, you can go to the help drawer by clicking on the little question mark in the top right hand corner, and this pulls out information that you can use to help you run your reports. So for example, you've got a little video here and you can click through on the link for more information from our support hub, and you'll see that there's lots of tips and information, game videos and screenshots to help you run your reports. So on your reports homepage, first thing you'll see is a summary of any predefined reports that come with your CRM, and you can open those by just clicking on the report name. On the screen you can select whether to show my reports, my group reports or all reports, depending on how you've got your CRM set up. To show you how the report writer works, I'm going to create a few standard reports that you might want to use in your CRM. The first one is a simple report where I'm just going to look at my contacts in London. To create a new report, I first click on Add Listing, and this brings up a new blank report form. In the title box, I'm going to call this report Contacts in London, and then in the field options box, this is where I can set the detail level for my report, and so it's looking at the different fields within the CRM system where you can drill down to the information that you want. So because I'm looking for my contacts in London, I'm going to select the contact fields. Then on the right hand side here I've got a box called Scope, and this is where I select whether I just want my own accounts or whether I want my group accounts or indeed all accounts, and I'll do all accounts in this example. You can select who the report owner is, so either yourself as the default or you can select somebody else from within your team. Then over on this far right hand side you'll see you've got two toggle boxes. The first one is to select whether you want to put the report in landscape format, and then the second one is whether you want to include the report in the company reports widget on your dashboard as I showed you earlier, and that would then give it access to the rest of your team. Now you may have already noticed that the screen I'm using looks slightly different from the one you've got. That's because I'm using the advanced reporting module that's available in our enterprise plan. It's got a few different boxes and buttons, and I'll explain them as we go through, but you might want to see the full thing just in case you wanted to upgrade at some point in the future. So I'll demonstrate from the advanced report option. So here you'll see I have the report permissions, and this is part of the advanced reporting option, and this allows me to set access levels to either just myself, my user group, or all users, and the level of access, either run only or run and edit, and that's in the advanced reporting. Below this I can then select the different fields I want to appear in my report. So each field would appear as a different column within the report, and all I do is select from the left hand side and drag the field over into the right hand side where I've got report fields, and then just build up my report. So for this example I'm going to include the account name, so I'll drag that one across. I'd also want, of course, the address city. I'm going to, let's have the postcode or zip code. So let's also have, let's say, the account website, bring that one over. And on the contact tab, let's find the full name, and let's have their email address. Slide that over. And I can reposition these as I wish, just by dragging and dropping again. The output options are again a part of the advanced reporting, and I can select here whether I want minimum number of characters or to wrap text. Maybe if you're selecting source codes and things, that you might want to just tidy up the report by using the output options here. Next I go to the criteria fields tab, and this is where I'm going to drill down to the different information that I want in my report. So with this ones, I don't want all my contacts, I just want my contacts in London. So if I then go back to the account tab and slide over the account address city again, if I set equal to and type in London, that's going to specify that I just want those accounts. I could also say, if I didn't just want London, maybe if I wanted to include a number of different cities in my report, or maybe I'm reporting on account types or something like that, I can also use the term is one of, and I would just say then, let's say London, semicolon, Birmingham, semicolon, Manchester, and I can then add those cities into my report as well. For the moment I'll just leave it as London, and then go to the sort field. The sort field lets me decide what the sort order is for my report. So let's just put it in account name, ascending order. Once I've completed the different fields that I want to report on, going back up to the top, I click Save, and then this gives me the option to run the report. So I click Run the report, and I can choose between whether I want to just display the report on my screen, whether I want to create a PDF, or whether I want to create a CSV file. If you're reporting to your screen or a PDF, there are limitations on the number of records that you can report on, but if you're reporting to a CSV file, you can report on as many different fields as you wish. So then just click Run Report, and that will display your report. If you wanted to maybe resort or edit the report in any way, then just click on the breadcrumb and go back in and modify the report. Maybe let's say you wanted to also change, rather than sorting by city, let's also sort by postcode or zip code in ascending order, and then save, run the report, and then that's going to give you a new version there. If you're using the advanced reporting, you also have the option to schedule your report, and that will then deliver the report at the intervals you choose into your inbox. So I just click on scheduled report, give it a name, give my report name, maybe I want a different name from what I've got actually in the report. The recipient is myself, and I can decide whether I want a CSV file, a PDF, or to the table, i.e. my screen, how frequently, daily, monthly, weekly. If it's daily, then choose which day, what time, and so on. Then just save. Clicking on Reports Scheduled will show me all the reports that I've got scheduled. Next, I'll show you a different type of report. Well, let's say we wanted to make a report on our sales call activity. And so back in the Reports homepage, again, I click on Add Listing and to open the new report. So this one, I'm going to, let's say I want to report on my sales activity for the last 6 weeks. So let's call this one Sales Activity for the last 6 weeks. And the field option for this one, because I want to report on activity level, I'll go down to Activity, and that's then going to give me the options available under Activity. For the scope, again, I'll set to all accounts, and yes, let's include it in my widgets. For this one, for my permissions, I only want myself to have access to this one, so I just leave a report owner only. On the available fields for the report, let's say I want to first of all have the user initials, so that's my team members. And then on the account tab, let's have the account name and the account type. Let's also then on the activity tab, I'd like the activity count, and of course the activity type. Let's also have the activity created date for this one and build up the report here. On the criteria fields, if I add in the activity type and set that to equal to call, it'll pull up my calls, and let's also specify the date range so that I don't want everything, I just want the last 6 weeks. So if I set up, let's say greater than or equal to, so anything after, let's say 1st of March, and then put my sort field, I'll sort by, if I put in my user initials and account name, on the user initials, if I subtotal, that will give me a subtotal for each individual user, each of my sales team, and if I summarize against the account name, that'll then group together multiple calls to the same account. So let's save that and run the report. Just for speed, I'll keep it just to my screen, but you might want to do something different. And this then shows me all the different activity that my team have made over the last 6 weeks and subtotaled against each individual name. If you're using the marketing module, you might also want to run some reports on your marketing activity. So for example, I've recently sent out a mailing called Dragon's Den, and I'd like to be able to see how many people clicked through on that particular campaign. So again, it would be a listing report. So if I click Add Listing, let's call it Click-throughs on Dragon's Den. And for the field options, I want the campaign detail, and that's going to show me how many clicks have been made. So if I go down to the available fields, let's bring over the fields that I'm interested in. So to get the clicks, I want the campaign detail status. That's the campaign detail, and let's status, slide that one over, and let's have the account name, pop that one in above, contact name, and let's have the contact email. And if I go into the account, if I put in, let's say, the account type, and for the criteria fields, here I want the campaign name. So if I drag over the campaign name and say equals to, oh actually let's do contains dragon, and it will just pick up the term dragon. And let's also have campaign detail status, let's click through. And we could also say, if we wanted to really drill down, let's say account type is one of, let's say, customer or prospect, and let's sort by account name. Save that report and then run the report, and this gives me all my click-throughs for that campaign. The report's saved into my summary table, and I can rerun this or edit it at any time just by clicking the arrow in the far right hand corner. The final type of report I'm going to show you today was a forecast report. And so for this one, of course, we go to Add Forecast. Slightly different form, but works pretty much the same way. So let's say I wanted to report on my sales opportunities for the last 6 months. So let's call it sales opportunities for 6 months. And in the scope box for this one, we put all accounts. And we've also got some other fields where we can select whether or not we report on the opportunity value or the line value, and also whether or not you want to report on the close date, or maybe it's on other date criteria that you've got set within your CRM. I'll stick with the close date for now. You can also select whether or not you want to include any non-forecast opportunities, so maybe you've not actually shown them in your forecast yet, but you've got some ones that you think are coming up shortly, and again whether or not to add it into the dashboard. Under months and values, here you just select how many months you want to show at any one time. So let's put 6 months in, and you can say whether you want to include the weighted or unweighted values. So let's have weighted values for this one, and I'd like to show the number of opportunities we've got, so I'll click opportunity count. We can decide whether or not to show the report in months, quarters, half years, years. I'll do this one in months. And as before, we can select whether or not to allow other people to see the report or not. So I'll open this one just to my user group and with run only permission. Down in the available fields, we then again just select which fields we want to show. So let's say, because I want to really most interested in my users and user groups, I'll start with the user group and I'll slide those over, and the user initials. Let's then put in the account name and the opportunity name. We can also have the opportunity probability, and let's have the opportunity forecast. And we can slide those fields around to get them in the order that we want. You'll also see here that you've got some subtotaling boxes, and so let's say I want to subtotal by my user group. I just tick the box there and that's going to subtotal for me. There's no other fields on this report, so you just go back up, click Save and run the report. Now here, because you may want to run the report on a number of different occasions, you can set the runtime field actually each time you run it. So once the report is saved, whenever you go to run it, you've got the opportunity to set the date that you then want to run it from. So let's start with April, and we run the report, and this gives us a full report of all the sales opportunities we've got set up and subtotaled by the different user groups that I've got and all my different users within that. So whilst there's many more types of reports you might want to run in your CRM, hopefully that gives you an overview of how the report writers work. If you want more information, again, if you go to the help drawer by clicking the question mark in the top right hand corner, and you can click through to our support hub, you'll find more information here. So in particular, you've got a page about the criteria filters that you can use, where you can look at the different operators to see how to get the information that you want from your CRM, and different format boxes that you might want to use. We've also got a blog on our website that accompanies the webinar, and this will show you through the different reports that we've been through today. Hopefully that will help as well. If you need any more help, do get in touch with our support team on support@reallysimplesystems.com. Thank you for listening today, and if you do need any further help, please do get in touch.